Now, in this lesson, we are going to discuss the skills you need to interact with the people. So, the so-called people skills, because you're going to meet with a number of students, different people coming from different backgrounds. You need some skills to be able to navigate how you interact with them and how you get to make your life in the university easier and progressive. So by the end of this lesson, you should be able to identify the skills that you need to engage with the people that you're going to meet in the process. So again, you have to have a notebook and a pen that you use to respond to the activity in responding to the question. Now, let's think of the following scenario. Imagine you have just moved into your university hostel where you are now going to be. You are sharing a room with 3 new people, or 4 people depending on the context. All of these people are actually from different regions, from maybe Kigoma, some from Arusha, Kigoma, from Dodoma, from different parts of Tanzania. Others also have different habits. You have not been with them for a long time. No, you have never been with them generally. And one side sounds like loud music, another studies late night, and another one barely talks. They're quiet, they're not speaking to you. How will you get along and make sure that your space and you have a peace and friendly environment, given the 3 people, 4 people in the room? What would you do first when you have such a case, when you have a hostel members, your roommates in this situation? And how would you approach this situation and be able to ensure that you can be able to move forward, given the situation you are in with the 3 people, 4 people, but with different backgrounds? So take your notebook, use 3 minutes to respond to the question on what you could be able to do first and how you could approach your situation. So since you'll be working with different people, connecting with different people, cultural competence is here key, because you'll be working with people from different backgrounds, different regions, different religions, different aspects and perspectives. So all these will be key, and therefore you need to, first of all, acknowledge the culture they come from, and then of course be able to ensure that you live with the people well in the context where you are. But in some cases, you also need to have the spirit and skills to be able to work collaboratively in the groups where you are, especially, for example, when you have a team of participants from different backgrounds. So collaborative team working is key, but again, working in small groups to ensure that you can be able to progress well into your lessons, into your activities. And of course, as people skills, you need to support others in their doing. So there might be someone who is having some problems, some issues. As a person who is living with other people from different backgrounds, supporting them in their ideas, in their issues, in their activities is really key in the university, to ensure that the life in the university becomes much more easier and simpler, to ensure that learning happens and everyone can be comfortable. And of course, in some point, you need to also contribute your ideas. There will come people asking for your opinions, your suggestions. So be ready to contribute constructively, give your point of views and what you think your perspective would be based on the question that is posed on to you in front of you. Again, as usual, if you're working in team or in a group, peer feedback is key. Ensure that you can provide feedback to someone who is presenting, or receive feedback for the work you have presented, so that you can be able to improve and be able to move forward. So peer feedback is also key to ensure that you can be able to have a better life in university. And of course, learn how to take your turn. If it's not your time to speak, don't speak. Speak only when required to, or when your turn is over, is up, so that you can be able to ensure that there is a sequence and there is always an order that you have to follow when you're doing some activities. And in some cases, you also need to make presentations. So grab the chance, present your work, present your assignment or your activity, and then of course receive feedback from your peers that will help be able to improve what you are getting presented. So this marks the end of our lesson today, and the next lesson will be focusing on a number of skills that are really critically relevant, which are what we call task management skills. Thank you.